What was your campaign all about?
So our campaign was called Safe Stories, and it was part of our End Family Fire campaign. We're one of the oldest and one of the leading nonprofit organizations working on gun violence prevention and really freeing America from gun violence. So this campaign was working with gun owners around the country to promote the importance of reducing and hopefully ending suicide by guns and by firearms. And that involved sharing stories of individuals who have access to guns in their homes and really talked about the importance of safe storage. Locking up the gun in the home, because we know that 67 people a day die from gun suicide, and 65% of gun owners unfortunately have an unlocked, unsecured gun in the home, which of course increases the risk of folks dying by gun suicide. So that's really the goal of the campaign, is to reduce that risk and ending gun suicide.
How important is it for your campaign, because of all the facts that you stated? How important is it for it to reach the right people, to create that awareness and to create the right policies and rules and regulations against gun violence?
Yeah, it's incredibly important. We need to reach audiences around the country, but particularly gun owners, because these are the individuals who have, again, often about 2/3 of the time, unsecured guns in the home. And so this is an incredibly important campaign that Brady initiated in partnership with the Ad Council and Dentsu, who are incredibly grateful to, and really helped us reach the right audiences through targeting, through messaging, through segmentation. And this is a game changer. We know that when folks see our campaign, see Safe Stories, and these stories of individuals who, again, have attempted suicide or been in a home where there's unsecured guns, it changes behavior. About 2/3 of folks who've seen our campaign actually modified their behavior and locked up their guns. And so that's the impact of this, right, of reaching the right people.
How important is it for agencies to partner with the right kind of partners and talk about these social causes?
Yeah, it's been a very close collaboration for several years now with the Ad Council, with Dentsu, and we're incredibly grateful to them because they obviously bring a level of expertise in marketing and advertising and decades of experience on working with major brands that we as a major nonprofit organization didn't have. And so to have that collaboration has just been critical, to think about messaging, to think about what audiences we need to reach and where and when and how, what stories we need to tell, has been transformational, right? And then to have that level of expertise and quality of storytelling has been so valuable to Brady, and I know our entire team at Brady is really grateful, because together we can free America from gun violence. We can end the gun violence epidemic that affects, now is the leading cause of death for our children in this country. So it's going to take all of us, including the Ad Council, Dentsu, and all the folks here tonight, to work together on making this change.
You just won a Shorty Award. How are you feeling?
I'm really, really excited. I'm so excited for all of the teams that worked on this, and for the opportunity to speak on behalf of so many of the people that did work on this. Most of the team is in New York, so I'm based here in LA, and I'm really happy that I was able to show up for my team and show up for this issue, this cause.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit about your campaign, about this cause.
So Prepare for Misuse is a campaign that's about safe gun ownership and making sure that when people have guns in their home, that they're keeping them safely, that they're keeping them locked up, that they're making sure that their families are safe, even when they're gun owners. And we know this is such a hot topic and a very political issue, but talking to gun owners takes some of the politics out of it and really thinks about like the safety and care of families.
Definitely. What do you feel like people misunderstand the most about your campaign?
I think it's a very sticky topic because of that specific issue, because it feels like it can get very easily mired in politics. But if we think about the basics of gun ownership and the fact that some people in the United States are going to own guns, so let's make that as safe as humanly possible, while there's other organizations out there fight in a different way.
If you could give yourself advice 5 years ago, what would you say to her?
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. 5 years ago, I would say, stop caring so much about what other people think. If you can just be authentically yourself and build the relationships that you really care about, then that's just going to make all the difference in the world.
100%. I agree. You just won a Shorty Award. How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, we're so excited on behalf of Brady United Against Gun Violence. It's just a big honor to work with our ad partners and our partners in business and media to really change the narrative around gun culture and around safe storage, to really save lives and reduce gun suicides in this country.
Definitely. To those that are thinking about owning a gun, or to those that own a gun already, what advice would you give to them?
For people who are interested in gun ownership or that are already owning guns, I mean, storing them safely and making sure that you are taking care of it's a dangerous weapon, you know. So making sure that it's stored safely, making sure that the ammunition is stored separately, making sure that things are locked up can really save lives.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, at Brady, we're a survivor-led organization, so we have many, many individuals who have lost loved ones. To add to what Anita just said, who by gun violence, it's now the number one killer of children is gun violence in this country, right? And that's devastating. That young people are being killed and injured at such high rates. 67 people a day die by gun suicide. So locking up your gun is everything, as Nina said. Safely storing your gun separate from ammunition in the home. A lot of times parents think their kids don't know where their guns are. They do, more often than not. A lot of times they play with them if they're unlocked or unsecured. And sadly, teens, especially who are at risk of suicide, that can be a way, unfortunately, that they lose their lives. So it's so important to keep the gun safely locked and stored.
Definitely. What questions do you wish people asked more about gun violence?
I'd love it to be, we get so caught up in the political rhetoric around it, and of course, because people's lives are at stake. But if there are ways to have conversations that are much more practical about where we are today and figuring out how to reduce gun violence in every way, shape, or form that we can, that's the best way to kind of move forward.
Wonderful. Anything to add?
I completely agree. This is not a political issue. It's not a partisan issue. At Brady, I'm wearing purple today because we're blue, we're red, we're both, right? We're a bipartisan organization. We have been for decades. We're named after Jim and Sarah Brady, who were Republicans. Jim was shot working for Ronald Reagan and survived, but he spent his whole life working to pass the Brady bill in the 90s, which has saved countless lives through just basic things like background checks. So we think at Brady we can free American gun violence, but it's going to take those common sense solutions, changing culture, changing the industry, changing the laws, and it shouldn't be political. It's a public health epidemic, and we need to treat it as such.